Today we're talking about the types of criticism. Before we even get started, if you have your own opinions on criticism, or if you have your own criticisms towards me for some reason, then go ahead and put them in the comments. I don't really mind. But before you say anything, just go ahead and finish the video. And so the first type of criticism is rude criticism. So let me give you an example about rude criticism. And this actually happened near the beginning when I moved to Ohio. So it was somewhere in the middle of June this year. And we just got to Ohio, and me and my family were like, well, we need to at least, look around the place and, see what there is around. And it was a morning, so we just woke up, we got into our car, and we just started driving around town. And, well, we actually went to a McDonald's to have our breakfast. And yeah, I know, McDonald's sucks. Like, come on, bro. You're on this self-improvement stuff and you're eating McDonald's. Look, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes you gotta eat what you gotta eat. We didn't really have we still don't really have a home where we can go home and eat, but so we just had to eat, how to feed ourselves. We didn't have much of a choice. But anyways, we were out at this McDonald's in the middle of I don't know, rackety shackety town. Like around, there's just kind of broken down. And I didn't really mind that, I was kind of used to it already. It's just those parts of towns where it's just, not the best. But yeah, so we're at this McDonald's, and we're in there eating. Everything's all good, it's just McDonald's, bro. They got some poison drugs in their food that makes it good. I don't know. But I forgot what we were talking about. We were like talking about license plates and stuff, me and my family. I forgot what we needed them, but my parents were asking me to go take a picture of the license plates real quick. So I was inside sitting down. We're all sitting down eating our little breakfast burritos. And my dad's like, go take a picture of the license plates on the cars real quick. I was like, okay. And then take my phone, get up from my chair, walk outside the door, and headed to the parking lot. Headed towards the car. And then I see like these two dudes, like they're like big dudes, all right? So they're pretty big, like three times the size of me. I'm 6 foot, 6'1". I'm guessing like 170, 180 around there. Those guys were like huge, all right? Those guys are huge, and not in a good way. They're fat and crusty. But they see me walking, they're just watching me. I was just like, all right, whatever. Go ahead and watch me. I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna do my business. Get my phone out, and then I take a picture of the car, license plate. And then they both look at me in like shock. Like, and keep in mind, one of them was white and one of them was black. And when they saw me take a picture of that, I started walking right back to the McDonald's. And as I was walking away from the car, they started screaming, what? Okay, I'm gonna do my best not to say bad words. What the you doing, you being, this Mexican racial slurs. They started saying a lot of racial slurs to me. And, some people would be like, well, are you just gonna let them say that to you? You're just gonna let them call you racial slurs and not do anything about it? First of all, I understand. Like, even now, to be honest with you guys, I still wouldn't attempt to do anything. Like, those guys were huge, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a trained fighter. I would love to be a trained fighter, but I feel like it's not really easy training yourself how to fight. I could be using that as an excuse. There you go. Reason number one to criticize me right there. But yeah, they were screaming racial slurs at me, and that's not a beneficial criticism. I was minding my own business, and they started rudely criticizing me, trying to get into my business, and then they get into their car and leave once they knew I'm not going to do anything about it. So what is beneficial criticism? I would say that kind of criticism is criticism made out of love. And yes, sometimes it can seem jerkish or, kind of rude. But if if you're aware enough to really understand the message behind it and, be aware of yourself and see why they're criticizing you about it, then it has a reason and it has a way to benefit you. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you a little story on a bad example of beneficial criticism. This story involves my best friend, and I used to think when I was criticizing him, when I was first learning about, criticism, I took the idea, I took what I learned, and I didn't learn that much apparently. I took what I learned and I started, implementing on him, hoping he would criticize me back and hoping that we would start growing even more. But I think I took a little bit too far, and I don't think I made things worse, but I don't think I was helping at the same time. So when it should have been more out of love, it was more of personal gain than anything else. And let me tell you why. It's because I was almost trying to force it. I was directly criticizing everything I see about him. Even if it wasn't a bad thing, I still criticized it. I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I was trying to put in his brain everything about him he didn't already know. And I was criticizing him as a person. And when I started learning more about criticism, I started realizing, okay, that's not what they meant. It's always better to be informed before saying anything, which is another reason I'm making this video. I know I'm not the most informed person ever. That's why I'm willing to take the criticism from others if they feel there's, differentiary. Anyways, you shouldn't be picking out the big exact details. Look, man, I noticed this in you and I don't really like it. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like an actual honest criticism. If I can think of one right now about him. Actually, I can't really. It's probably not a good idea. I'll leave that to me and him. But what I mean is that it should be more of I'm picking you up, brother. I'm not letting you fall kind of criticism. That's what beneficial criticism is. When he noticed me and I noticed him falling, we're so connected that we can tell. And that's how it should be with anybody. If you genuinely like them as a person, you should be connected to them and know when they're up and when they're down. We both criticized each other in a good way when we saw one another falling. And that's how it should be. It's out of love, not direct. So how does criticism really benefit you? Well, the base answer to that is that it introduces you to humility, but it also opens your mind to yourself. That's why people chase criticism. Not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people do. In school, you don't see people trying to chase criticism. You don't even want to give criticism, but that's not really going to benefit you or anyone. And that's what we're trying to do here. So if no one's going to do it, then I don't think you're really going to be able to build yourself. I used to have the lone wolf mentality, the Sigma male. I don't do enough research with these alpha Sigma males or lone. Actually, I did a lot on that, but while I was on the lone wolf mentality, I was just, I was so lonely that I couldn't really build myself up at all. Now I'm striving for humility. I'm striving for criticism. I'm trying to accumulate so much. What is it? Like, I don't know. I'm chasing for something that I feel like I need help unlocking. And it's not just family members, because not even they will give you the worst criticism, the most important criticism you need. I feel like it's other people, and I feel like it's life experiences. Guys, don't be afraid to chase criticism, to experience humility, because that's what's going to build you up. I will be posting another video in a month, because here I have a little game plan. And if you want, you can do it too. I'm basically going to be finding these self-improvement servers on Discord. Like, you got Hamza's big old global Discord. We have a lot of people in there. I'm also going to be joining a couple other self-improvement Discords, and solely on the purpose to build up my social skills, you know, tell my stories, tell people about myself, show them how I'm like, even show them this channel, and, you know, build up some humility, build up some criticism, see what I can get from that. And if you want to start, you know, building yourself up as well, I suggest you do the same. It's time to, you know, break that little shell around you. Trying to get out of that goddamn thing. Sorry. But anyways, that's it for the video, boys. And remember, be open.